Have you ever noticed that some of the smartest people you know don't actually look smart at first? They're quiet in conversations. They disappear for long periods of time. They sometimes overthink things that others would ignore. And because of that, people often misunderstand them. They get called antisocial, overcomplicated, even weird. But psychology suggests something surprising. Many of these behaviors are actually signs of a highly intelligent brain at work. And once you understand the psychology behind them, you might start seeing intelligence in places you never expected. Most people think intelligence is about knowing a lot of information, but cognitive psychologists describe intelligence very differently. It's not just about what you know, it's about how your brain processes the world. Highly intelligent minds tend to process information in deeper and more complex ways. They analyze patterns, question assumptions, and constantly test ideas. That's why research shows people with higher IQs often make more realistic predictions and better decisions because their brains evaluate probabilities more accurately. But this deeper processing also creates behaviors that others often misinterpret. For example, studies show highly intelligent individuals often enjoy solitude more than frequent social interaction, not because they dislike people, but because their brains crave uninterrupted thinking time. So many of the habits we mistake as odd are actually signs of a mind that is constantly analyzing the world. And those habits appear again and again in people with very high intelligence. But not everyone with a highly analytical mind behaves the same way. Psychologists often notice three different thinking patterns. Type 1. The observer. This person rarely speaks first in conversations. While others rush to respond, they're watching. They're reading facial expressions, analyzing tone of voice, looking for patterns in behavior. From the outside, they might seem quiet, but internally, their brain is collecting data. Research shows highly intelligent individuals often listen more than they speak because observation gives them deeper insight into social dynamics. In other words, they're not silent because they have nothing to say. They're silent because they're still processing everything around them. Type 2. The constant questioner. This type asks questions about everything. Why do people behave this way? Why does this system work like that? Why do we believe what we believe? To some people, this looks like skepticism, but psychologically, it's something much deeper. Highly intelligent minds are driven by curiosity. They constantly search for patterns and explanations. That curiosity becomes the engine that pushes them to learn more, explore new ideas, and challenge assumptions. And because of that, they rarely accept simple answers. Their brain wants to understand the entire system behind the answer. Type 3. The mental simulator. This type lives in their head more than anywhere else. They replay conversations, analyze decisions, imagine different possible outcomes. To others, it may look like overthinking, but what's really happening is something psychologists call mental simulation. Their brain is testing scenarios. What happens if I say this? What happens if I choose that? This ability allows highly intelligent individuals to evaluate many possibilities before making decisions. And that's one reason why people with higher IQs often make more accurate predictions about the future than others. But there's a downside. When your brain is constantly analyzing possibilities, it's very hard to ever turn it off. These thinking patterns often show up through everyday behaviors. For example, spending a lot of time alone, asking endless questions, talking to themselves while thinking, admitting when they don't know something, overanalyzing small decisions, having a surprisingly sharp sense of humor, changing their mind when new evidence appears, thinking more actively at night, observing more than speaking, constantly searching for deeper meaning. None of these look like intelligence at first glance, but together they reveal something powerful, a brain that never stops exploring ideas. So, what does all this actually tell us? Intelligence doesn't always look impressive on the surface. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like curiosity. Sometimes it looks like someone who simply thinks too much. But the truth is, a highly intelligent mind is often misunderstood. Because while most people are reacting to the world, these individuals are analyzing it. And that difference can make them seem strange. But it's also what allows them to discover patterns, ideas, and possibilities that others never notice. So here's a question for you. Is there someone in your life who seems quiet, curious, or constantly thinking, but might actually be far more intelligent than people realize? And maybe you're one of them. If this video made you see intelligence in a new way, I want you to do one simple thing. Comment the word thinker below if you relate to any of these habits. And if you want to understand the psychology of deep thinkers even more, you should watch the next video on why intelligent people often feel different from everyone else. It might explain more about your mind than you expect. I'll see you there.